Friends, today we stand together, hearts heavy yet lifted, to honor a man whose life was a blazing torch in a world too often shrouded in darkness. On April 21, 2025, Pope Francis, the shepherd of the forgotten, the voice of the voiceless, and the heart that loved without limits, left this earth. But his light, his unyielding light, burns on in every act of compassion, every gesture of forgiveness, and every choice to love fiercely, even when it's hard. If you're a parent seeking to guide your children toward a life of purpose, a soul weary of division, yet hungry for hope, or simply someone who believes one life can change millions, this story is for you. Join me as we celebrate Pope Francis, a man who showed us how to live boldly, love boundlessly, and leave a legacy that will echo through generations. Light a candle, share your heart in the comments, and let's make his message a wildfire of love across the world. Imagine a boy in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in the 1940s, chasing a soccer ball through crowded streets, his laughter blending with the rhythm of tango drifting from open windows. That boy was Jorge Mario Bergoglio, born December 17, 1936, to Italian immigrants Mario and Regina. The eldest of 5 siblings, he grew up in a modest home where faith was a compass, family was a sanctuary, and hard work was a way of life. Young Jorge was no stranger to struggle. At 21, a near-fatal bout of pneumonia stole part of his lung, leaving him breathless and staring into the fragility of life. In that hospital bed, he heard a whisper, a call to serve, not to conquer. That call led him to become a Jesuit priest in 1969, then Archbishop of Buenos Aires, and in 2013, at 76, Pope Francis, the first Latin American pope, the first Jesuit pope, and a revolutionary whose heart beat for the broken. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, Francis rewrote the script of leadership. No golden cross, no velvet cape, just a plain white cassock and a smile that felt like home. "Good evening," he said, as if greeting neighbors, not a world watching. He chose the name Francis, inspired by Saint Francis of Assisi, the saint who kissed lepers and sang to birds, and he lived that name. He shunned the papal palace for a simple room in Casa Santa Marta. He rode a Fiat, not a limousine. He carried his own bag, paid his own bills, and called strangers to offer comfort. These weren't gestures. They were his soul laid bare, a testament that true power lies in humility, true wealth in giving. But Francis's legacy is not in his simplicity. It's in how he loved the least among us. In 2013, he journeyed to Lampedusa, an Italian island where migrants risked death crossing the Mediterranean. The world had turned away, but Francis refused. He stood with refugees, tears streaming down his face, and said, "We have lost the ability to weep for our brothers and sisters." He prayed, embraced them, and blessed their boats, forcing the world to see their humanity. That moment wasn't just a headline. It was a thunderclap, a call to love the stranger as ourselves. Francis saw the unseen. In 2015 in Philadelphia, he met Sofia, a girl frail from a rare illness, her wheelchair swallowed by a sea of people. He stopped his procession, knelt before her, and smiled, a smile that said, "You are enough." He held her hand and whispered, "You are so strong." Her mother said, "That smile carried us through our darkest days." That was Francis's gift, finding the one who needed him most, a prisoner whose feet he washed, a homeless man he dined with, a child he blessed in a war zone. He taught us that love is not a feeling, it's a verb, a choice to act, to see every soul as sacred. His voice shook mountains. He called for peace in Gaza, phoning a small parish daily, even from his hospital bed in 2025, his frail voice pleading for an end to violence. He challenged leaders to welcome migrants, saying, "They are people, not problems." He fought for our planet, writing in Laudato Si, "This earth is our home. Why are we burning it?" That 2015 letter united scientists and believers, sparking a global cry for climate justice. And he opened the church's arms, saying, "Who am I to judge?" to those who felt cast out. Critics called him radical, others cautious, but Francis stood firm. "I am a pastor. My job is to love." That love demanded courage. In the 1970s, during Argentina's dictatorship, Francis, then a young priest, hid dissidents from death squads, smuggling them under blankets in his car. "I was terrified," he later admitted. "I saw a psychiatrist to survive." That honesty made him human, a leader who bared his scars. Even as Pope, he faced trials, chronic lung issues, a 38-day hospital stay in February 2025 for double pneumonia, moments when death loomed. Yet he never stopped. On Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2025, he blessed thousands from a wheelchair in St. Peter's Square, his smile defying his frailty. It was his final act of love, a light that refused to dim. On Easter Monday, April 21st, 2025, at 7:35 a.m., Pope Francis took his last breath in Casa Santa Marta. Cardinal Kevin Farrell said, "He lived the gospel with courage and love for the poorest." World leaders mourned. Emmanuel Macron called him a voice for the vulnerable. Narendra Modi named him a beacon of compassion. J.D. Vance, who met him hours before, said, "His words from COVID, pure love, still echo." Millions will gather at St. Mary Major Basilica, where he chose a simple wooden casket true to his heart. But his legacy lives not in stone, but in souls transformed. Let me share a story that holds his light. In 2024, in East Timor, Francis met João, a boy orphaned by floods. João's eyes were hollow, his world shattered. Francis knelt, took his hands, and smiled. "You are never alone," he said. João later told a priest, "That smile gave me a reason to live." That was Francis. He made the broken feel whole, the lost feel found. And he left us lessons to carry forward. Lessons that can change how we live, how we love, how we shape the world. First, live with compassion. Francis didn't just pray for the poor, he ate with them. He didn't just speak for migrants, he stood with them. Compassion is action, a choice to see suffering and respond. As parents, you teach this when you comfort your child after a fall, when you listen to a friend's pain, when you help a stranger. Imagine if every family made one act of compassion a day, buying a coffee for a homeless person, calling a lonely relative. Those acts weave a tapestry of love, just as Francis did. Second, forgive with courage. Francis forgave those who criticized him, even those who betrayed his trust. In 2020, during the pandemic, he stood in a rain-soaked St. Peter's Square, praying for a world torn apart. "We are all in this together," he said, forgiving our failures and calling us to unity. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. Teach your kids to forgive the friend who hurt them, to let go of grudges. It's a gift that frees the heart, a lesson Francis lived every day. Third, love without limits. Francis loved the prisoner, the refugee, the outcast. He loved those who disagreed with him, those who doubted him. His love had no borders, no conditions. As parents, you show this when you love your child through their mistakes, when you embrace their quirks, when you welcome their friends, no matter who they are. Love without limits means seeing every person as a spark of the divine, just as Francis did. These lessons are your inheritance, dear friends. They're a call to action, a challenge to live differently. Start today. Smile at a stranger as Francis did to João. Forgive someone who wronged you as he forgave his critics. Love someone who feels unlovable as he loved the world. And teach your children to do the same. At dinner tonight, ask them, who did you help today? Share your stories. A time you gave without expecting return. Forgave when it hurt. Loved when it was hard. These conversations are the seeds of a kinder world, planted in the soil of Francis's legacy. Let's make this personal. Think of a moment when you felt unseen, unloved, or afraid. Maybe it was a day you failed, a night you cried alone, a time the world felt too heavy. Now imagine Francis there, his gentle eyes meeting yours, his smile saying, "You are enough, you are loved." That's the gift he gave the world, and it's the gift you can give others. In your home, your workplace, your community, you have the power to be a light, an unyielding light, just like his. Science affirms this power. When you smile, your brain releases endorphins, lifting your mood. When you forgive, your stress hormones drop, healing your body. When you love, your heart connects to others, creating bonds that defy distance. Francis knew this, not as science, but as truth. His smile wasn't just warmth, it was medicine. His forgiveness wasn't just faith, it was freedom. His love wasn't just kindness, it was revolution. And he calls us to join that revolution, one heart at a time. In his final days, Francis showed us how to shine through pain. After 38 days in the hospital, he waved from a window on April 6, 2025, frail but radiant. On Easter Sunday, he blessed the crowd, his wheelchair a throne of grace. He met J.D. Vance, speaking of love despite his weakness. And on April 21st, he slipped away, leaving a world forever changed. His choice of a wooden casket, his burial at St. Mary Major, his life of simplicity, these were his final sermon, a reminder that greatness lies in giving all you have. So, I challenge you to the Francis Light Challenge. For 7 days, do 3 things. 1 act of compassion, 1 act of forgiveness, 1 act of boundless love. Help a neighbor, forgive a grudge, love someone who feels alone. Write your story in the comments. Tell us who you helped, who you forgave, who you loved. Let's flood this space with stories of light, proving that Francis's legacy lives in us. And share this video with your family, your friends, your community. Let's make his message a movement, a wave of love that sweeps the world. Parents, you are the keepers of this light. Your children watch you. When you choose compassion over anger, forgiveness over bitterness, love over fear, you shape their souls. Tell them about Francis, the man who loved the world to his last breath. Show them his lessons in your actions. Hug them tightly, listen deeply, love fiercely. As Francis said, children are the future, but parents are their guides. Be their guide to a world where love wins. As we close, imagine Francis now, his smile brighter than ever, saying, "Don't be afraid. Keep loving. The world is beautiful when we care for each other. His life was a song of compassion, a dance of forgiveness, a fire of love. He was a pope for the poor, a friend to the broken, a light that never faded. Rest in peace, Holy Father. Your legacy is ours to carry. Thank you for joining this tribute. If this story stirred your heart, hit that like button to spread his light. Subscribe and ring the bell for more stories that inspire, challenge, and heal. Share this with someone who needs hope, someone who believes in love. Together, let's make Pope Francis's unyielding light a flame that never dies. Keep shining, keep loving, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now, but never forever.